Do you bunt to break up a no-hitter? Do you steal up 5 in the 9th? We're talking baseball's unwritten rules. Of course you do.
Go Bridgeside!
We're back with another episode of Brooklyn Versus. Today we're talking Major League Baseball and its unwritten rules. To my left, Donnie, DF Baby Borst.
The Shark.
The Shark, they call him. To his left, Mike Boo.
What's up?
No nickname.
Dixon.
And Dr. Phil, Philly Cags.
Boo is his nickname. What's going on, everybody?
So today we're talking...
And you're a win.
Yeah, I'm win. We know who I am. We're talking unwritten rules.
Knows who you are.
Everybody knows who I am.
All right, go ahead.
We're talking unwritten rules in baseball. Over the weekend, there was a little confrontation. People weren't too happy about Mr. Cisco bunting on Jose Berrios down 7th in the 9th. So, Boo, I'll kick it to you. What do you think? You think that was a good play? Do you think there are these unwritten rules that people should abide by? What do you think?
There are unwritten rules, and there should be unwritten rules. The fact that the Twins got mad about this is not an unwritten rule. What happened yesterday? It's the most ridiculous thing.
Bunting up 7. Or down 7, excuse me.
They're bunting down 7. The guy's not pitching a no-hitter. What is he, like, why is he not allowed to bunt down 7 runs? You're trying to get base runners. There is not one single thing wrong with what that kid did. And for the Twins to get mad is a complete joke. Complete joke.
Phil?
I completely agree with you. I don't have anything else to agree. They're trying to get base runners. You accidentally said, what if they were up 7-0? Do you think that changes it?
No. I don't.
You still think it's okay?
I think it's okay because you're shifting.
Well, was it purely to beat the shift? Do you think yes?
Well, yeah.
I think it's to beat the shift.
Well, listen.
So then it's a great baseball move.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
He's bunting to get on base. You're down 7. You're up 7. Your job is to get on base. All right? And we'll table the no-hitter discussion in a little bit in bunting. But if they're gonna give you that and say we're not gonna let you pull the ball. If I was the guy who's getting shifted, I'd be bunting left and right.
Of course,
I would teach myself to do it enough where they can't shift me anymore, and then I'll get my hits to where I would pull the ball.
Well, you have horrible speed, so you still wouldn't beat it out. but I'll go a step further. Forget about the shift. Shift or not, there's nothing wrong with it. That doesn't matter.
No, listen. I agree with you. I mean, Don, I know I didn't really ask you. Do you think it was all right? I mean, do the Twins have any gripe?
No, they don't have any gripe at all.
So then, what was the problem? I don't understand.
I don't understand either. It was actually a great baseball play to beat the shift.
Brian Dozier very upset.
Yeah, he's like, they have some great clubhouse veterans. They'll take care of it. Take care of what?
I would drill Dozier in the back the next game.
Yeah.
If I was the Orioles pitcher.
Cut into that actually, because we're talking about unwritten rules, and one of the biggest unwritten rules. It happened all of last year.
With
it was
Machado?
pitchers getting shown up, and then beaning guys directly after that, and then it continuing a line of if you bean my guy, I'm gonna bean your guy.
I'm all for it.
No, agreed. But I'm
all for it.
That was the biggest unwritten rules test last year. It was a bunch of guys that were getting beaned as a result of showing pitchers up or their own player getting beaned.
Okay, so I know Machado comes to mind. I want to table that for 1 second.
Okay.
We spoke about, I mentioned no-hitters before, right? And, Boo, you were a pitcher, so if you were throwing a no-hitter in the 7th, let's say, in a 9-inning game, you throw a no-hitter in the 7th, are you upset? Are you upset if a guy bunts on you?
In the 7th, yeah.
What's the score of the game?
Yeah.
3-0. You're up 3-0 in the 7th inning.
I'm upset even if it's 1-0.
No,
I don't know. I guess it's a pitcher's point of view, but there's certain things with there are unwritten rules. That's what I was saying.
Yeah. That is an unwritten rule, basically. You're not supposed to bunt to break up a no-hitter.
I think the biggest problem is that I think people fall back way too much on unwritten rules. Everyone pulls out an unwritten rule. We're all saying that there's not a problem. It's like, where did Brian Dozier get it from? Where did he get it from? I feel like there's different unwritten rules all the time.
Dozier, you're an idiot.
Well, that's the problem. Is this doesn't seem to be a 100% agreement on the unwritten rules. That's why you see people sometimes break these unwritten rules. There was last year. I remember somebody got mad. I forget what the game was because somebody bunted for a hit in like the 5th inning of a no-hitter.
I can't keep up with it.
That's ridiculous.
Exactly.
Crazy.
When is the inning? So we'll go back to yours. The 7th inning. You'd
7th inning is the inning.
You think 7th inning is the inning? And not even if it's 1-0.
I can't agree
with Donnie.
It's 1-0. If that guy reaches first base on that bunt, you could be losing on the next batter.
So 1-0, top of 9th. Donnie, I come up, I bunt, Donnie hits a home run. That was a problem. We just won the game.
I can't defend it
But
It doesn't make sense.
This is one I can't defend, but
otherwise.
6th inning if it happened, it wouldn't bother me. 7th inning if it happened, for some reason, that's what I'm saying.
But why though?
Because it's just
so
an
you could
unwritten
possibly
rule.
lose a game because you didn't want to break the
I
unwritten
know it
rules.
sounds silly, but this is a gentleman's game, right? And there are unwritten rules.
Golf,
Is it? That's
actually.
golf.
I don't think that's
No, listen.
Think about all the unwritten rules in golf, right? And they're
No, I think
don't
those
know
are
as
actually.
many.
I think those are actually written down. You can't make sounds. You can't do that.
Well, yeah.
Listen,
Penalties, yeah.
I think that if you're somebody with speed, and you're in the major leagues, and you are somebody who's bunted you throughout your career, and you're a good bunter, that's why you're in the major leagues. Somebody who's a leadoff guy who's actually attempting to bunt, chances are he gets his 10 to 12 bunt hits a year, right? That's 10, 15 points on an average by the end of the season. That's part of his game. You can't say, oh, you shouldn't do it because I'm throwing a no-hitter. Well, if you're throwing a no-hitter, then get me out, even at my game.
agree.
I don't care what point of the game
I
it is.
remember one that was a joke last year. Do you remember Sabathia had a bad knee?
Yeah, that was
And
ridiculous.
they bunted on
bunted,
Sabathia,
and
he said
pulled
they
Bush
broke
League,
a bush.
That's ridiculous.
He's got a bad knee, of course. Why wouldn't you? And it was a fast guy that was up. It wasn't like David Ortiz.
You
like
can't
that
feel
on
your
bunt.
position, then how are you pitching?
Then you shouldn't You shouldn't be
be on the
out
mound.
there.
Shouldn't
So
be on the mound.
what is this guy has a weakness and we don't go after it?
Right,
I
that's
have two.
different. You're talking
I
about
know,
somebody with a weakness versus.
But I'm
No,
saying,
no.
but he said it was an unwritten rule.
I have two, and they were both equally ridiculous. Which is, I'm not a big fan of the unwritten rule book, unless it's certain cases. If there's a pop fly and you have a guy on base and he does something to distract the guy who's
A-Rod?
fielding the
A-Rod?
ball,
I got it.
Absolutely, yes, and that works every
that's-
so often, and people are destroyed.
That's kind of
over it.
Bush.
But then
That's kind of Bush.
I
League.
believe A-Rod was also involved in another one.
Yep,
That
I know which
Dallas
one you're gonna talk
Braden
about.
perfect game where there's a pop fly, he gets knocked out, and instead of going around the bases out, he goes over the pitcher's mound.
Right,
to go out.
right. You know what though? And I'm not a pitcher per se, but if don't go over the mound.
That's ridiculous.
There's no. If I was, I would have been pitched too, because especially when you're pitching certain spots in the mound, your landing spot, your mound is in a certain spot. You gotta get what? There's no need for it.
Well,
There's
I'll
a
go
whole
first. That
field.
should be a written rule.
That's
that you shouldn't be
disrespectful
allowed
in
to do.
general. Yeah,
That
I'll
should be
agree
a
with
written
that.
rule. But let's just say, if we're trying to just decide on, I said 7th inning, you guys seem to disagree. What about with stealing? When do you stop stealing?
Well, I mentioned
in a
that in our intro. I mean, if
How much up?
Yeah, how much?
That's the key.
When you're
I
up.
think the key is,
Four,
does
I
it
think.
actually have an outcome of the game? Like you're talking about a no-hitter, we said 1-0. If you're up 6-0, or you're down 6-0, and you bunt in the 7th inning, you've crossed the line. I agree. Because now you're not, I don't know if you're,
is all judgment,
you're
yeah.
not affecting a game.
wait, she's saying again. I agree. I disagree. If you bunt at any time in the game, you're somebody who bunts. It shouldn't matter if you're up or down.
I think
you're
it
trying to
gets-
get on base.
I think it gets a lot more unwritten.
Gray, I guess. All right,
yes.
maybe in the ninth inning,
Like
if you're up 12-0 in the ninth, you should not be bunting for a hit.
That's what I
Okay,
meant.
I'll give you that.
But that's
if
what I'm
it's
saying.
5-6-0
The
in the
reason why I asked
7th,
that is it's stealing a base. If you're up by 10 and you're stealing bases,
the next guy should get drilled.
You
they
look
kind
at
of
the-
took that
you're
out.
looking for
They
stats
kind of
at
took
that
that
point,
out
yeah.
with the fielder's indifference.
What do you mean?
Because if you're
don't
running,
throw down,
No, I know.
if
right.
you run and you just don't go after the bag, they're not going to give you a stolen base.
Right, but no.
like kind
No,
of
they'll
could be-
no defensive indifference. They'll give you the stolen base.
No,
the only time they're not
not
gonna,
if
you
you're
don't
up
get
by a lot of runs
You don't
like
get
that.
the stolen base.
the only
It's
time they're not
defense is
gonna
indifferent.
the only time
No,
they're
you
not
don't
gonna give it to you is if the run means nothing late in the game.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
That's
No,
exactly-
if your
Up-
team is down, then they'll give you a stolen base if you're up 10 runs. They're not gonna give you defensive indifference.
If you're
Down,
up 10,
down,
really.
If you're up 10 runs and a guy steals, they're not gonna give you, and you're winning, and
No,
you steal
Oh, if
second.
you're on the field, I
The
got
guy,
you.
the guy who stole second is the guy that winning 10-0.
yeah, he's gonna get a stolen base.
They won't give you defensive indifference.
No, because it's not a
it's only
defensive.
the other way. I thought it was both ways.
No,
that's why.
defensive difference is only because you know that runs mean
I know,
nothing,
no,
so
I
the
know.
defense isn't
I understand.
moving.
That's what I'm saying. I thought it was
You know,
both. All
they're
right.
just choosing not
if
to.
if the defense is indifferent during the play,
That's what I
it
thought.
should be
You
called.
can't be indifferent when you're
If-
down 10 when
if-
you're up
if
if
they're
you're down
down-
10 runs.
If they don't make any movement towards
Exactly.
the base, they're just
That-
like, man.
no, that's not.
All right, let
defensive
me take
indifference.
this in a different direction though now. So, what is the most disrespectful thing you could do on a baseball field?
Oh, I like
Oh,
that.
it's hitting a home run and showing the pitcher up badly.
Moonwalk?
Oh, yeah,
Jose
yeah,
Bautista.
yeah. I mean, it's a lot of that.
Well,
yeah.
Jose Bautista throwing the bat.
Well, no,
at you.
David Ortiz, you sometimes wait like 5-10 seconds before moving. Like that happens sometimes.
Ortiz should have been hit a lot more, buddy. Yankees.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. Everybody, the guys clap for him like when he retired.
Oh, he's great. I loved him. Yeah.
Yeah, because you're a Met fan. Of
course,
no
yeah.
problem. But anyway,
When?
that's
What do you
a-
think is like the
Hot dogging it is, I think, is probably the the worst thing you can do after a home run. I mean, pitchers do it too. Don't get me wrong. They strike somebody out. They look at you like. I'm not a big hot dogging kind of guy. Play the game, do what you got to do, and get off the field.
To me, it's doing anything when you're up by a lot of runs, like stealing base and stuff. I think that's the most disrespectful stuff, and you deserve to get drilled.
That, or what Donnie said about anything breaking up a perfect game, or to disrupt a perfect game. How you say he ran over the mound or anything like that. In a situation, if it's 1-0, it's not what I'm talking about. Exactly what Donnie said. Running over the game, that has no effect on actually trying to win the game or score.
And you would also never usually do that.
That's what I'm saying. Right. I think that's going specifically to break up a chance at, quote unquote, immortality. But it doesn't have an effect on the game. You're not getting base runners on the game. You're just trying to kick dirt on the mounds.
I'm going to end on this. Baseball has so many, like we said, unwritten rules. There's so many things. Guys step out of the box to break up a pitcher's rhythm. I think as long as, kind of like what Mike said, and you guys probably, if it's within the scope of certain runs, right? I'm not talking about hot dogging, but I'm talking about getting on base and the game's on a blowout one way or the other. And I think most of it is all right.
I do agree with you. Up by a lot.
Absolutely, but I'm going to add on top of it, there's also respect for certain accomplishments that needs to be there. That's part of the game. You guys disagree, but that's what I believe.
I had to put a caveat of runs. I know Wynn disagreed, but if you're up down 5-0, I wouldn't bunt to break up a no-hitter or a perfect game, because that's an accomplishment. Honestly, I think it's either 1 or 2 run. If your run of bunting is the tying, or to bring up the tying or the winning run, I think you're in availability. Anything past 2, I think now we're talking about you take into respect of the fact of this personal accomplishment.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
I disagree, but we'll say it.
With whom?
With all of you. That's it for this episode of Brooklyn Versus, everybody. Join us next time. We'll see you then.
Go Bridgeside. Come see me, Doja.
We always did 2 voters.